Well, hello, everybody. This is Mr. Reeves again, and I'm here to introduce you today to polynomials, and then we're going to be talking about some operations on polynomials. So, before we talk about what a polynomial is, let's go ahead and do some review of some basic algebra terms. So, let's talk about what an expression is, or more specifically, what an algebraic expression is. So we've got expression, and I'm going to go ahead and put algebraic expression in front of it. So an algebraic expression contains, whoa, didn't mean to do that. An algebraic expression contains three things: constants. Constants in algebra are numbers. So a constant is just another word for a number. So we have 1, -4, 2/3. Anything that you commonly think of as a number is a constant. Any form of a number. Rational, integer, irrational, those are all constants. And then we have variables. And a variable is a letter used to represent an unknown or changing value. So everyone's favorite variable, right, is x, y, k. Those are variables. By the way, I'm going to throw up pi up here with constants as an example of an irrational constant. So variables are letters used to represent unknown. Constants just another word for a number. And the third part of an algebraic expression is operations. So of course we have multiplication, division, addition, subtraction, square rooting, raising to a power, those type of things. All right, you're all familiar with the order of operations, right? PEMDAS, or however else you've learned it. So an algebraic expression is these three things together. So an example of an algebraic expression might be x plus 3, or 3x squared minus 7, or 1/2 x plus -4y. So it's an algebraic expression, just takes these three ingredients and puts them together. Now, when you add an equal sign and something on the other side, that's when you get to an equation, but we're just focusing on expressions. So that's the first thing I wanted to remind you about, what an algebraic expressions are. And then let's talk about what powers are. So a power is something like this. It's made up of three parts here. Right here is a constant, and we call that the coefficient. So it is a constant, but it's called the coefficient. This right here is a variable, and that is going to be called the base. And then this right here is going to be our exponent. Now, often we refer to the exponent as a power, like 2 to the third power. The exponent would be 3, but we're going to call this whole entire thing together is a power, right? Just like these whole things together are expressions. So, some examples of powers. 3x squared, -1/2 x to the -2 power. 0.375 y squared. So these are examples of powers. In this one, the coefficient would be 3, the base would be x, and the exponent is 2. The coefficient is negative 1/2, the base is x, and the exponent is negative 2. So a polynomial is an algebraic expression created by adding and subtracting powers. So a polynomial, it's an algebraic expression. It's one of these up here that we talked about, made up where each one of these parts of it, which we call a term, is a power. So actually, each one of these is a power because every variable has an exponent on it. It would be 1. All right? So you've actually been dealing with polynomials. We never call them polynomials until now when we're going to refer to specific operations we're going to be doing on them. So each part of a polynomial is called a term. All right? So I'm going to go ahead and write that down. Each part of a polynomial is called a term. So if it has one term, we call it a monomial because mono means 1. If it has 2 terms, we call it a binomial. If it has 3 terms, we call it a trinomial. And for any number of terms, we call it a polynomial. So mono means 1, bi means 2, tri means 3, poly means many. Now, a monomial is a polynomial with 1 term, right? So I want you to understand, if it has 1 term and I say, what can you call it? And you say a polynomial, that would be correct. But if it has 1 term, we specifically give it the name monomial. So these are all polynomials. They just get special names because they are special cases with 1, 2, or 3 terms. After 3 terms, we don't give them special names anymore. All right, so some examples. So if I asked you, is 3x squared a polynomial? The answer would be yes, and that would be a monomial. Again, the coefficient is 3, the base is x, and the exponent is 2. If I did 3x squared plus 2x, that would be a binomial. This is the first term, and this is the second term. The 3 and the 2 are both, again, coefficients. The base on both of these is x. The exponent on this one is 1, and the exponent on that one is 2. And then if I were to go 3x squared plus 2x plus 1, now we would have a trinomial. There's some other things we talk about with polynomials, the degree of the polynomial and the degree of the term. We're not going to get into that in this video. We'll do that in another video. So that's an introduction for you to what polynomials are. I hope this helped.